What's up, gamers? Kaizur here, and today we're going to go over 2 defensive drills that you can use to never lose to Clive again. We're going to start with a basic one and then also show the high-level version of the same exact drill. Let's get started. Alright, now that we're in training mode, the first things first. I want you to go to your display settings and make sure that you have the player frame info and the player attack info on display and show details. When doing this drill, make sure that you get this yellow punish symbol in the bottom left. If you're slightly too late, like how I was there, you will not actually be punishing them. You will get punished for using a move too slow. Let's start this drill. I want you to go to practice settings, trading mode, and change that to defense. From here, we could set Clive to do 8 different actions. The first one I want you to practice is 4-4. This is a mid-high string that you can duck on reaction and launch punish. The second option I want you to put in is down forward 3 1+2. Now, even just starting with these two, we already have a decent drill. When you see the low, I want you to react and duck to that, and when you see the mid, I want you to duck the second hit. Just like that. When you feel that you have these two pretty well down, we're going to add a third action. We're going to add forward 1+2. This is a very important move to block because in the most recent patch, they made this -12. Do your 12 frame punish, in Azucena's case, use 1-2 is what I'd recommend. Perfect. When you feel like you have that down, add all 3 together. And now we have 3 things to practice punishing. At this point, you might see the pattern. We're going to add 1 action every single time you feel you have the other actions all down pat, and keep adding the mental stack. That's what this training is. It's called the mental stack training. For action number 4, we have back 1+2 from Clive. This is -14. Some people can launch this. Azucena cannot. She gets a 3-3 punish at any range. I recommend using 3-3. At max range, I think Azucena can't punish this 1-2. So definitely practice punishing with 3-3. Next on our list, we have action number 5. Action number 5 is parry. On reaction, I want you to launch punish this move. Number 6, we have down forward 1-2-2. So there are 2 ways to beat this. You should be ducking and launching the second hit. It is mid, high, mid. However, that last hit is also -15, as you might notice in the bottom left corner, which I was actually late on the punish there. Make sure I'm fast enough for it. If you do block this, you got to be quick. Mash your punish. For this next move, it is 1-1, hold forward 1. And the reason you need to practice this is because if you try to punish it with a move that's not a very quick one, you will get punished with this armor. And you might also be asking, well, why don't I use a high then? Jabs are also really fast and you can block afterwards. Well, the problem is that if he does the low from here, let me record that as well. If you try to jab, he will go underneath you. It might even counter hit you if you use the wrong one. That's why I say it's better to practice doing it down forward 1. You don't have to worry about it. Or if you're Azucena, you could go for a down back 3-4 here on reaction. However, this is very difficult to do in a real match, so be careful about it. For the last part of our simple defense training is forward 2-1. Which is his +1 on block mid-high string. You want to duck and launch punish for a full combo. To show you what this looks like in practice, I will be doing this for about 10-15 seconds here, with all of them unlocked. That is the easier of the defensive mental stack training we have. However, some of you who know Clive a little bit more might realize there's a problem with this simple defensive training. And that is a lot of these mid-high options that I'm showing you actually have mid-mid options as well. But we can actually go and prepare for those too with the use of other tools, such as fuzzy ducking. show off what I'm talking about, you might remember about 4-4, which is the mid-high that we've been training. However, there's also this mid-mid. But if you look at the frame data, there actually is a difference between the two. The mid-high is 25 frames, and the mid-mid is 20 frames, which means if you duck 5 frames late, you can actually beat both these options by simply delaying your duck. Let me show you. You see? One other piece of advice for this one in particular, too, is I look at see if Clive does a spin or not. If he spins, I duck. But yeah, with both the delaying the duck and looking at his animation, you are able to prepare for both of these options. And that's just one pair of them. Another one, for example, that you should put on is forward to 1 and forward to 2. Once again, just like the last time, there is a frame difference between these. The mid-high is 21 frames. And also, he does another spin here, you might notice, when he does this. And then, the mid-mid is 17 frames. So, it's a 4-frame difference. So, once again, that means you duck 4 frames later. As long as you do that, you are able to option select. This is not easy. There is a reason this is part of the advanced defensive drill. But you can do this. Once again, make sure to pay attention to see if he's spinning. Whenever he spins, that means it's a high. I personally am not perfect at this, but I have made it up to 75, 80% correct. Woo! It's tough, man. And for these ones, these advanced defensive drills, I highly recommend you spend a lot of time with just both of them before you start adding them all together. It is tough. It is tough. Another one for this, for Clive, is his down forward 1-4. And the down forward... Ooh, and the down forward 1-2-1. For this one, once again, the mid-mid is 20 frames. And the mid-high is 23 frames. So it is another delayed duck. This one is harder than the other two. The frames are a little bit closer, but you can still do it. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. The other options I would add to this advanced training drill is forward 2-1 and heat for Clive. And now you have the hold version of this, where you hold it down the entire way. This is a unblockable. And you also have the letting go of it immediately option. Recommend using an armor so you can beat both options, but if you're feeling greedy, you can also go for a launcher here to interrupt it. You can do that. And then there's also the forward 2-2-2 as well. Minus 13 on block, I think. Let me check. Yeah, minus 13 on block, but it also is something you can armor through, just like with that other forward 2-2-1. So this is what I would set the advanced training method. Get used to fuzzy ducking the mid-highs and the mid-mids, and then also armoring through forward 2-2. And this will take you a while to get through. If you put all 8 on here, it's extremely tough. Extremely tough. Yeah, for this advanced training method, I highly recommend you do it in pairs rather than all 8 at the same time, because it's so difficult to be able to do this. But if you do feel like you've really gotten it down with these fuzzy ducks and with the armoring and everything, then go for it. Give it your best shot. I personally am very, very still bad at it. Anyway, I hope that you find this useful. I highly recommend you start with the easy version of this mental stack training. And then if you really feel like you have it down, only at that time, then I recommend you try to go for the fuzzy ducks and the armor through everything type stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching. See you around.